Welcome to this week's Stampin' Fun Friday. This week I have a stamped layout to share with you. This layout is featured on the Hero Arts blog today as part of their back to school week on the blog. You can see that I use lots of different stamps that aren't specifically school related on my layout. So the first thing I did was stamped this Hello Flag stamp on some white cardstock using just a black dye ink, and then I'm taking some Tim Holtz Distress inks and coloring the flags with the foam blending tool. And it's just an easy way to add some color. I had originally tried to color them with Copics, and I didn't think the colors matched the papers that I was using very well, so I switched to the Distress inks and I liked those a lot better. And I used Shabby Shutters, and now I'm using Spiced Marmalade, which is more of an orange. The next one I'm going to use Barn Door. It's a really great red color, probably my favorite. Then I used the Wild Honey, which is a kind of yellowish orange, I would say. It's a little bit more golden or something. So I used it. Then I use Tumbled Glass, which is my favorite blue. Just keep adding a little color until I get it as dark as I want. And I wasn't real careful to stay within the lines or anything. I just wanted to get good ink coverage. Then once I had all of the flags colored with ink, I cut them out with my scissors and adhered them to the layout, you can see here, with some foam adhesive. It looks really cute, and added some little buttons with some twine through them at the ends. The next thing I did was use this Stitch and Trim, I think is what it's called, cling stamp from Hero Arts. It has little scissors, and it kind of goes more with their sewing, probably other sewing stamps and whatnot, but I thought the scissors were just too cute and would be perfect for the back to school layout. I stamped it with Versamark and heat set some brown embossing powder, and then punched the circle out and added it to the layout like I showed there. I just cut the circle in half and added it to an October afternoon sticker. The next thing I did, I thought my video camera was going, so I didn't get all of the steps stamped. Sorry about that. Is I took these apple stamps and I stamped one of them 3 times across. I used my Stamp-A-Majig so I could get them positioned where I wanted and get them stamped correctly. And I stamped these 2 apple designs using some brown ink. This is the chocolate chip ink from Stampin' Up. And I just stamped it directly on my pattern paper. Then I stamped the apples in Barn Door and Wild Honey on some white cardstock and cut out just the apple portion and adhered that right over those brown stamped apples. Then I die cut the plus sign, the equal sign, and the 5 to finish out my little math problem there. For my journaling, I used this cling stamp from Hero Arts. It's the Ledger stamp, and this is a great versatile stamp. I inked it up with some chocolate chip Stampin' Up ink, and I'm stamping it on craft cardstock. And I don't even use a block for these cling stamps. I just use it just as is. And then I took my paper trimmer and trimmed it to size, just kind of trimmed right along where the stamp design was. And once I have that all done, I already have my journaling all set up in my printer, and I just adhered this sheet right to a plain sheet out of my printer and ran it through. So now my journaling is right on my little ledger paper. Now I'm going to take this punch from Stampin' Up, and it adds that really fun, like notebook paper look to an edge. So I thought this was perfect for the ledger. It just adds that nice touch to the piece. And then I like to wrinkle it up a little bit so it looks like I've actually torn it right from a spiral notebook. So the next thing I'm going to do, you can see here I have my layout almost all put together. I'm going to add an October afternoon sticker. Add a little adhesive to the back, and I'm going to tuck that right under the border and line it up underneath the flags. That looks good. And then I've got some 2x3 photos that I printed that just coordinate with my larger photo of my daughter. And I'm going to adhere those along the border as well. Just kind of move them around to see how I like them the best. Add a little adhesive and just tuck them under there. It's a nice way to add some supporting photos to a layout. Okay, once I've done that, I have another sticker from the October Afternoon collection, and I'm going to stick it right there next to my photos. And then the last thing I'm going to do is those circles with the little scissor stamp that I added earlier. I'm going to poke a couple of holes and add some real teeny tiny rhinestone brads. I always like to add brads to these little half circles like this, brads or buttons or something like that. I think it finishes it nicely. I'm going to add those, and then I have, you can see there, I have a couple of little mini paper clips from Tim Holtz, and I'm going to add those to my ledger page to kind of hold it in place. I love to add those. Those are just a nice little finishing touch. For more information, please visit my blog or Hero Arts blog on August 13th, 2010. Thanks for watching.